Always brought me back.
You're a blazer.
Yes.
Went to Lyndhurst High School.
Yes.
What year did you graduate?
I didn't.
Okay. Well, that's part of your story.
Yes, it
Because, well, I don't know how to approach this as far as telling about it, other than to say you've turned your life around 180 degrees.
Yes, I have.
And you own your own business now.
Yes.
And you're an advocate for other women who are turning their life around.
Yes.
It's like I said, it's an amazing story. I want to start at the beginning. Can we
Yes.
tell your story? How did this all start?
Well, I was one of those young kids that always had to learn the hard way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was always afraid to be myself. And, I got picked on a lot. So I got into gangs.
Mm-hmm.
And, my life really went downhill from there. I pulled out when I had my first son, and I moved to Sacramento, and I was doing quite well. And then we went through a divorce, and I moved back here, and I got tied up with a really wrong crowd, and my life went through a crushing hold.
Basically, you were hooked on drugs and alcohol and anything to, you were self-medicating.
Yes, I was.
And your life kind of spiraled downwards.
Yes.
And what was it that stopped that spiraling? What just looking in the mirror one day?
Oh, man. I was homeless 8 years ago, and I had 2 kids that I didn't have in my custody, and they were with their father. And at this time, I thought that they were better off without me. And every time I touched a radio, Christian music would come on.
Was that the message?
That was the message.
That still small voice
That
broke
small
through.
Voice, yes. When I went through I left for Oklahoma for a little while, and my uncle took me to church, and I swore that whole church knew about what I was going through, because there was just God talking to these people all the way around, and they actually started standing up and saying things. And I told my grandmother I was coming back home, and I was going to fight for my kids and get my life back together. And that's what I did.
That's what you did. What was the first step?
The first step is I signed into First Steps.
Okay.
And I stayed clean. I worked with Narcotics Anonymous, and I have to say one thing about Narcotics Anonymous. In this community, has the most best recovery place that you can ever recover from.
They definitely have the meetings,
Yeah.
I like the way they're scheduled in different areas, so you can, if you feel a need, you can always attend a meeting.
Yes. Well, it was the Oliver's group that recovered me.
And you slowly started getting your life back together?
Slowly.
What was can you continue on with the steps? Because I think this is important, because somebody might be listening in and in a similar situation.
It's a 12-step program.
No, I mean your steps. I
okay.
recall the steps, but I mean the steps to getting your life. You discovered that you had a drug and
Yes.
alcohol problem.
Mm-hmm.
You had other problems, and you started to get better. And why did you decide to start your own business, if you could? Because and the way it ties in with what you're talking about here.
Well, I had a business before I got addicted.
Yeah.
I had a cleaning business out of Sacramento and Lincoln, and we did quite well. Unfortunately, I started taking pills to give myself more energy.
Yeah.
To keep it going. At the time, we had 4 kids, and I had 4 boys, and between the ages of 6 months to 5 years.
What pill, if you don't mind me? Norcos or something?
Started with Vicodin, went to Norcos, and then it went to OxyContin.
And how did you get off those? Because that's very tough to detox on those.
They're very tough.
I know.
Well, I detoxed for the first 14 days by myself. Couldn't keep nothing down. I got extremely sick. I reached out for help. Nobody knew I had a problem. I reached out for help, and I started looking online, because I was down to like 98 pounds.
Wow.
And I found a clinic that I used, and I went on methadone for a while. I went through a separation. I was diagnosed with PTSD. At the time, I wasn't diagnosed, but I had PTSD, and I didn't know I had it. and I just started drinking and drinking and drinking.
You're
and
self-medicating.
I was self-medicating, and my life just went downhill so quick. You know, I had a house in Edgewater, and not even 2 years later, I was homeless.
Well, you know, we've touched on the bad part. Let's talk on the recovery, shall we?
Okay.
And how you restarted your business. It's called, what is it called?
It's Shelton's Janitorial.
And you started getting clients again. And
Yeah.
how many people are working in your business now?
So, can we take a step back?
Yes, please.
Okay. Sorry, I wanted to go to the recovery. You
Yes.
know, I didn't have a driver's license. I didn't have a car. Didn't have any of that. And that's where, you know, I started working at Peachtree Restaurant, and I was able to get my license back. I was able to get insurance. I was able to buy a car. And a good friend, an old client of mine, came into Peachtree one day, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I went and worked for him for a week. I finally got my own place, and I quit with him. And that same week, I went self-employed again with Shelton's House Cleaning.
And you started cleaning houses.
I started cleaning houses, and you know, I had clients, and I was building up, and somehow I was able to save my home and be able to get my kids back in the meantime. But it grew, and then I got picked up by a big client. They're out of Chicago, the 13th largest construction company in the world.
Which
Called
is?
me. I can't say their name.
Okay, that's fine.
Called me, and I started doing their trailers, construction trailers. And these people were just absolutely amazing. They're everything that I needed at the time. They helped build my confidence. They gave me opportunities. You know, what, 2 years, 2.5 years, maybe 3 years down the road, they put me in a 58,000 square foot building to do the construction cleanup and the final clean.
That's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
Okay.
So then I was out on Bill Air Force Base, and I was able to cover almost all of the final cleans out there as of last year.
Oh.
This year we went into the janitorial a little bit more deeper, and we've signed up state jobs, signed up government jobs. I'm now certified as small business woman owned. And I finally was able to get myself back together.
How many employees do you have?
I have two. I have two, and I have one more being hired in about 30 days.
And this is important because you're hiring.
Yes.
You're looking for, what, 4 or 5 people?
Yes, I am.
And what kind of work would they be doing? What janitorial? Is that emptying trash cans, you know, vacuuming and things like that?
Yes. Well, that's the thing is, you know, I just hired somebody to take over the janitorial, and because I'll be moving into the final cleans as of December.
Final cleans, that's construction, right?
That's basically, they built the buildings,
Yeah.
and they're big, huge government buildings. We have colonels and everything out there that runs it.
Yeah.
And then they build it, we go in halfway, we do windows, we prepare the bathrooms, we prepare for them to move in.
Mm-hmm.
We go underneath buildings and clean underneath, and we have to get it ready for Army Corps to come in and say everything looks okay.
So you went from homeless to owning your own business to probably $500,000 worth of contracts. Is that a roundabout figure?
It's getting there.
About $500,000 worth of contracts.
Yeah.
And all within a short period of time. How long of a time here? Well, what are you talking about? Like a year, 2 years, or what?
We're looking at, I changed my will in my life over to God 7 years ago.
It's okay.
And I've been in business for 4 years.
4 years.
4 years.
You've taken it from nothing to now working with contractors and like you said, being able to, you've got 4 people right now, you're going to add 5 more. Where do you see your business in another 5 years, let's say, from now? Do you branching out into other areas?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I see it being successful.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned the women-owned business. You're looking actually in the employees that you're looking for women that were in a similar situation as you.
Yes.
Now, that doesn't mean they can't, they can't come to work stoned or anything like that, but you're looking for somebody that to help through that recovery process. How would you do that?
We come in, through my journey of life, I got very with I got wisdom throughout it, and I'm
Yeah.
able to help girls and show them we have resources, where I went to, or to this doctor, or this doctor don't work, or this one does, or if you work these, if you read this book, you do this. We help them with their anxiety, we help them with their depression. We don't give up on them.
So you're more than a boss or a job. You're looking for you to change people's lifestyles, but also enhance your business because those people are recovery happens.
Yes,
They need a chance.
I took the first 4 years in recovery, and I did it single. It was the best decision I ever made, and I highly recommend it to any woman to get out there, learn their self, learn to see who God wants them to be, besides have a man control them and tell me what they want and what they don't want. I like to see women stand on their own 2 feet. That's what I want to get. I want them to, see, learn yourself first, heal yourself first. A lot of women, either haven't had jobs or haven't had cars, especially coming from the lifestyle, or hasn't been able to live by themselves, or have their own place. They always depend on a man. And, there's nothing wrong with relationships,
Yeah.
but when you're in toxic ones, there is.
Now you've helped yourself through this.
Yes.
By helping other people. I've always said the only way you're going to feel better is helping somebody else feel better. Is there somebody that you can point to, no names or anything, that you've actually helped along? Are these your employees that you've got now, or is there?
Yes.
Are some of these people that you've gotten out of that lifestyle, if you will?
Yes.
How hard of a work is this? How hard of a job? I mean, are you working up a sweat? Is it
It's
constant?
hard work.
Is it hard work?
It's hard work.
And well, that's a good thing. You feel like you work for every penny.
It helps build their confidence.
Yeah.
Hard
So,
work does.
how does somebody listening right now? How do they contact you? What's the dealio, if you will, to get a hold of you so they can get the ball rolling?
My phone number is 530-216-0273.
216. Okay, and I will put that on our Facebook page because, by the way, this is going to be on Facebook, and you can record. It's going to be recorded. You can share it and just spread the word.
Okay, thank you.
What would be some of the words of encouragement you would say to somebody that's in a lifestyle that they don't, or that they want to get out of?
There's
help.
light after darkness.
Okay.
There's light after darkness. Recovery does work. We do change. We do become better persons. Our life does get better.
216-0273. It's Shelton's Janitorial, but of course that name's going to change probably. Shelton's Janitorial and other things. How about
Yes.
that?
Yes.
216-0273. Well, first off, I want to say hello to your kids. How many kids you got? 6, right?
Yes.
6 kids. That's amazing. Single lady, 6 kids, own her own business. High five to you.
Thank you.
What's your kids' names? Say hello.
I have Zane, Austin, Cheyenne, Jonathan, Sharia, Matthew, and Kenny.
Okay. Well, hello there, by the way. And final words of wisdom, because like you said, you've gained wisdom. What would you like to say to folks?
Oh, if you can help somebody out, help them out. Sometimes we're answered prayers. The world's gotten pretty crazy lately, and people are afraid. Still have that opening hand and listen to your heart.
Listen to that still small voice.
Still listen to that small voice, yeah.
Sarah Shelton, is it Sarah or without the H?
No H.
No H, okay. Sarah Shelton of Shelton's Janitorial, 216-0273. More than an employer.
Yes.
I want to thank you for being a part of the community.
Thank you.